Annually, for the Harvard people, for the Boston College people, and the BU people, the Beanpot was a yearly celebration. For the Northeastern people, it was a yearly humiliation. 27 years, no championships. Thus, a small but powerful group of Northeastern alumni and varsity club members started discussions about dropping out of the Beanpot.
Being a Northeastern alum, you bleed red and black, you lose with the team, you win with the team, and it almost got to be a funny sort of joke, not ha-ha, but, you know, hey, we're the Huskies, and we're going to be there. We're going to fight you tooth and nail. You're going to beat us, but so what? But it was not a lot of fun, to be very frank about it. Not a lot to be proud of, at least in the hockey team, in terms of success.
Northeastern perennially played the first game the first night at 6:15, and unfortunately, perennially pretty much played the second game the second night at 6:15. All my so-called friends picking up on that tabbed me 6:15 Grenoble.
Coach Ferny Flaman and his Northeastern team entered the 1980 tournament with a 3-11 record.
We didn't have a good record, but I will say that we did, during the offseason, lose significant players to the pros. Chris Nyland, we lost some other players, Jimmy Walsh, who we had counted on coming back. And so we didn't have the strongest team going in.
All signs for the Huskies pointed to next Monday, 6:15, and business as usual. However, the Huskies had other ideas.
It was like 5 minutes into overtime, and I was sitting on the bench, and I just said to myself that it's getting kind of late here. Someone's better do something. And I thought that the next time I go over the boards, if I get a chance to get the puck, I'm going to try as hard as I can to get it down towards their end and get a shot on net and, you know, see if we can score and create some chances.
Johnny Montgomery, I could remember that very clearly, that he got the puck up around the blue line, I guess, and he was skating, and he just let it go, and he caught the BU goaltender by surprise, I guess, and went by him, so that was the start of it all.
And then who do they have to go up against? The #1 team in the East at the time, Boston College. You would never think that Northeastern was going to be Boston College, but there we were. We were glad just to be in the finals, you know. It was something different. We're in the finals. We don't have to go early. What are we going to do?
We worked very hard in practice and in between. We didn't even have a day off after we won the first game. We didn't have a day off. We just went back at it, and it was probably the hardest we ever worked in practices when I was at Northeastern.
Northeastern's behind 3-1 early, but yet they somehow come back and they tie it at, you know, 3-3. But you get the feeling that this is not a Northeastern team that is going to lay down on that particular night. They're going to fight tooth and nail. They may lose, but it's going to be a game. You just had that feeling. And then they fall behind 4-3, but with 3.5 minutes to go, Paul McDougall ties it, and everybody figures this is the year. This is the year.
Just shortly before the end of regulation, perhaps 10 seconds or so, I had a semi-breakaway and an opportunity to score and did not succeed.
Everybody was into it, you know, especially when it went to overtime. Wouldn't this be something if Northeastern won this thing? So it was not an anti-BC thing. It was, this would be great for Northeastern to finally win this thing, and the emotion in the building was really something.
Certainly everyone was in that garden cheering for them, except for the team that they were playing against.
The fans, like I said before, most of them stayed just to watch, to see what would happen, and I think, well, 9/10 of them, I think, were on our side.
And then, just 2:47 into overtime, Wayne Turner fired the shot heard round the Beanpot world.
Centering pass, touchdown! Northeastern wins it!
I think every fan almost stayed for that whole game, because the ovation that the kids got, you know, from the crowd, and they said, well, it's over. They finally did win. And everybody seemed like they were on our side, which I felt was great.
Ferny's been a great friend over the years, and there are some people that you don't mind losing to, and I told Ferny that too, that after the game was over, I said, if we had to lose, I said, I'm glad it was you.
I always remember I was like one of the last ones off the ice, and the ushers there, the people were just crowded around the exit for the players to get off the ice. There was so many, and there was like 3 ushers, and they told me put my helmet back on, and they escorted me down the hall, and the corridors were just full of people.
The celebrations afterwards, and there was an establishment near the Northeastern campus that actually stayed open very, very late, and I think the police sort of looked the other way because they knew what was going on, and we were there with the Northeastern hockey people, the people from, you know, the Boosters Club, and it was a wild party that went past 3 o'clock in the morning.
Forgotten in all the hoopla that 27 years of frustration brings is that Northeastern's victory was actually the first miracle on ice in 1980.
1980, I was up at Lake Placid with the U.S. Olympic team, and of course there were 4 guys from BU on that team. And the Beanpot was during the Olympics. And I remember going to practice for the U.S. team, and Mike came out, Mike Ruzioni, and said, "Do you know who won the Beanpot?" I said, "Yeah, Northeastern." And it was like, "What? Northeastern won the Beanpot?" And I said, "Yeah, they did." He said, "Well, it wouldn't happen when we were there."